Retirement withdrawals are not only about having a corpus, but about turning it into a cash flow plan that you can stick to. Many investors withdraw money when the need comes up, but that often raises new doubts. How much should be withdrawn and how often? Which mutual fund portfolio should withdrawals come from? And how do market cycles change what works in practice? In this episode, Mr. Sahil Shah offers his insights on building a more thoughtful withdrawal approach. With over 15 years of experience in wealth management, MDRT Global Advisory member in the US for the last 7 years, and recognitions across the US, UAE, and UK, he has worked with investors on aligning withdrawals to real-life timelines and spending needs. In Nivesh Pe Charcha, we explore how to build a cash flow plan from mutual funds, covering what an SWP is, how it differs from an ad hoc redemption, why the source portfolio matters, and what to keep in mind on taxation and expectations. Let's dive in. Namaskar, Sahil ji. Thank you for joining us for this conversation. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Sumit. Thanks for inviting me on this platform.
साहिल जी, आज हम आपसे बहुत सारे सवाल पूछेंगे SWP से रिगार्डिंग। और मेरा पहला सवाल आपसे ये है कि SWP होता क्या है और ये कैसे डिफरेंट है जो नॉर्मल हम एड हॉक रिडेम्पशंस करते हैं म्यूचुअल फंड से, उससे अलग कैसे है?
So, Sumit, SWP is a systematic withdrawal plan. It is a feature that provides investors a facility to withdraw regular monthly cash flows. ये एक ऐसा तरीका है जहां पर निवेशक एक स्पेसिफिक कॉर्पस जनरेट करके एवरी मंथ ऑन मंथ एक स्पेसिफिक यूनिट्स रिडीम कर सकता है और स्टडी कैश फ्लोज जनरेट कर सकता है।
एंड इन व्हाट सिनेरियोज ये SWP जो है वो नॉर्मल रिडेम्पशंस जो होते हैं वो उनसे बेहतर होता है?
ओके, सी SWP जो कंसेप्ट यूज करता है that is a concept of capital gain. Every month, specifically, we sell a specific amount of units. Suppose we have decided to withdraw 8% of the corpus. Okay, the 8% of the corpus is been bifurcated into 12 EMIs, and every month, a specific units are sold and redeemed. For the first year, the redemption goes into a short-term capital gain taxation. Post for 1 year timeline, it goes into a long-term capital gain structure. So ये एक दूसरे ad hoc जो आपने पूछा ad hoc instrument से कैसे better है. So it is a non-timing instrument. It gives steady cash flows at pre-decided at the beginning and generates month-on-month income to the investor.
और सर मुझे ये बताइए कि कैसे SWP से फर्क पड़ता है या फिर एसेट एलोकेशन का फर्क पड़ता है SWP पे?
Asset allocation is very important while deciding an SWP corpus portfolio. See, SWP आप कहीं से भी कर सकते हैं. It is a feature that is applicable to any fund. But what is important is how you have selected the model portfolio, the source portfolio. In that asset allocation, we need to understand that how much equity exposure is there and how much debt exposure is there. Equity though gives the market growth, debt gives a suitable downside protection from the volatile times. So asset allocation is very important. It need to be kept in mind before starting an SWP, selecting a source fund. That is really important.
Okay. तो सर ये बताइए कि क्या किस पर्पस के लिए SWP हो रही है, उसमें अलग अलग पर्पस में अलग अलग एसेट एलोकेशन हो जाता है या फिर कुछ एक ही स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मूला है जिसको लेकर चलते हैं?
See, the standard formula that acts here is the source fund. Source fund का selection is very important here. So, कोई ऐसा predefined I would say example नहीं है इसके लिए. आपको जो portfolio select करना है, वो portfolio should protect the downside and give the equity exposure as well. छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल देके मैं समझाना चाहूँगा इस चीज़ को कि सपोज आप चाहते हैं कि मुझे एक SWP डिज़ाइन करना है एंड आई वांट टू गेट द रेगुलर कैश फ्लो इनकम. सो जो मेरा रिटर्न है, मेरा रिटर्न शुड जो actual return है portfolio का, that should beat the SWP withdrawal, right? So that my corpus don't get depreciated over the period of time. So equity and debt as a asset allocation gives a smooth ride into this wealth creation journey via SWP.
सर ये बताइए कि किस तरीके की मिस्टेक्स आप देखते हो जब लोग या फिर इन्वेस्टर्स अपने एसडब्ल्यूपी को सेटअप करते हैं विद इन टर्म्स ऑफ अमाउंट एंड फ्रीक्वेंसी.
See, the mistake that comes here is, Sumit, ki jahan par people have more expectations than the actual expectation of the market. From the past, what people have expected with the market grows every year by 20-25%, but that doesn't happen, right? So there the people used to get uh, beaten down by the markets because just like last 1 year, we are into a flattish zone. So if we are withdrawing more amount than the actual return of the portfolio, here it comes when your major corpus may depreciate. So it is to be selected and is to be predefined that a model portfolio or the source fund where the corpus is aligned, what is the actual benchmark return of that portfolio? Suppose the benchmark return is delivering around 15%, then it is good to withdraw 50 to 60% of that. Means you can easily withdraw around 7.5 to 8 every year. So if you are withdrawing 8, you are keeping residual 8%, 7 to 8% there to compound. So what people do here is they expect from the past returns, looking at the online digital platforms, that this thematic fund has given more returns. It has given 40% returns. So shall I can withdraw more amount from my SWP? It is going to be the mistake that people are making today. We need to ensure that the source portfolio has a specific long-term track record that needs to be kept in mind before deciding the SWP payouts.
साहिल जी ये बताइए कि कैसे मार्केट साइकिल्स अफेक्ट करते हैं एसडब्ल्यूपी को और किस तरीके की बातें इन्वेस्टर्स को दिमाग में रखनी चाहिए एसडब्ल्यूपी सेटअप करने से पहले.
Suppose you have a 50 lakh corpus. I'm giving an example. Suppose you have a 50 lakh corpus. In SWP term, it is called as the source portfolio. The source portfolio is very important at this point of time to decide, because if the volatile times the market takes into, suppose last 1.5 years has been very volatile. So it needs to be ensured that the portfolio has a significant amount in debts and G6 that preserves the downside. So that the debt portion, suppose the equity don't perform, the debt, the gold, the silver, it is called as a new category, the multi-asset. So we recommend to select an SWP. What's more important is to select a multi-dimensional portfolio. It won't happen that the equity is going to perform every year. You will get a space of time when equities tend to be stagnant and the commodities, debts are going to perform well. So it is very important to keep the balance of the portfolio in the volatile times. Otherwise, what happens is if you take an entirely equity portfolio into the SWP corpus, whenever the market takes a dip, suppose the market has taken last 1.5 year, Nifty is down around 15%. So the model portfolio depreciates by 15% and your corpus goes out by 8%. So overall, you are down 23%. And that makes you very volatile in this time. You tend to see my 50 lakh has been now just 40. So to protect the downside, we need to ensure that there should be a significant amount in the debts, gold and silver, like multi-asset categories, to ensure long-term longevity of the SWP cycle. It protects the downside.
साहिल जी इसमें फिर कोई रेशियो देखते हैं आप कि इक्विटी में इतना रखना चाहिए. लेट्स से फॉर समबडी हु इज अबाउट टू रिटायर और उनको अपना एसडब्ल्यूपी सेट करना है, तो इज देयर स्टैंडर्ड रेशियो दैट दे शुड सेट कि 50% डेट 50% इक्विटी और मे बी समथिंग एल्स.
Yeah, that's a good question, Sumit. If somebody is retiring, he's getting his corpus in hand. What is important here is he should keep around 60% into the equity, and 40% should be the into the debt side, commodities. We say these portfolios as multi-asset that gives an across blend of equity, gold, silver, and debt. The fund manager has a pre-decided thought. He knows well where to keep equity exposure rising or to decrease. So we, on an average, we say that around 60% equity is good and 40% debt is favorable for the long-term longevity of an SWP.
Okay. Sahil ji, this is, I want to ask you from your experience, what are the purposes that you have seen for which people take out or people set up SWPs besides retirement?
See, Sumit, SWP has many benefits and many applications you can use this feature as. Suppose you said once recently that somebody is retired, he can generate a regular income. Somebody wishes to buy a car, he can park that substantial amount, that source corpus, into the SWP portfolio, redeem every month that SWP, and pay off the EMIs. So, like, there are multiple examples. If somebody wishes to buy a car, though he has taken the loan, whatever the EMI is been there, you can park that substantial amount into an SWP corpus. Suppose आपकी car 20 lakhs की है, you get an EMI of around 20,000, you park 25 lakhs into an SWP and withdraw 20,000 from there. So you can pre-automate your liabilities via SWP.
Okay.
And retirement, it is a very important aspect. Retirement is a very important aspect. In retirement, one can generate specific steady cash flows. Year on year basis, you can step up and step down your SWPs as SWP as well, as per requirement. As the model portfolio, the corpus portfolio grows, you can step up your SWPs as well.
Sahil, this is my last question to you. किस तरीके से म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स हेल्प करते हैं इन्वेस्टर्स की फॉर सेटिंग अप देयर एसडब्ल्यूपी एंड मेकिंग श्योर कि इन्वेस्टमेंट ग्रो भी कर रही है, उनकी डेली इनकम नीड्स भी पूरी हो रही है?
As a distributor, what our job is to find a suitable source portfolio that can generate a consistent income over a period of time.
करेक्ट.
इन्वेस्टर टुडे, आप सुमित बताएं कि आज अगर आप बैंक में एफडी करेंगे तो आपको विड्रॉल कितना आएगा,
मतलब कितना परसेंट इंटरेस्ट आएगा ये पूछ रहे हैं आप?
या कितना परसेंट इंटरेस्ट आएगा?
मतलब 6% के आसपास.
6%, yeah, right? With SWP, what's our job is to find a portfolio that gives the blend of equity, debt, and commodities that are giving consistent return over a period of time. एक इन्वेस्टर का कॉर्पस ऐसी जगह पार्क करें डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स जहां पर they beat the inflation and they get more than what an individual is getting in a fixed deposit in a senior citizen savings schemes or government scheme pension schemes. So यहाँ पर म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स को एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज करनी है. व्हाट पीपल आर मिसिंग हियर is people are thinking for SIPs. Distributors are not thinking that there is a lot of money lying in the bank which is yet to be converted into an SWP. What
Correct.
mutual fund distributors has to do is to guide investors. The awareness about SWP is very important. And I want to highlight one important point here, Sumit, that SWP gives you a feature of long-term capital gain taxation that gets automatically booked. Suppose you are withdrawing a specific amount, every month you are selling some units, you are booking some profits.
Yes.
So as per the income tax slab laws, LTCG for 1.25 lakhs is entirely tax-free. So the profits from SWP up to 1.25 is tax exempted.
Yeah.
So you should use that feature. If you put around 50 lakhs here in a SWP, you are getting entirely tax-free income.
Correct.
SWP gives you consistent, tax-efficient source of income that grows with the market as well and gives you an inflation-beating returns.
Okay. Thank you, Sahil. Thank you for lots of information. And we will just conclude here. Thanks a lot for providing all these insights, which will be very helpful for our viewers. Thank you. This conversation circles back to one theme. Withdrawal works better when they are guided by clarity and structure, not reactions. An SWP is not only about setting an amount, but also about choosing the right source portfolio, thinking through asset allocation across market phases, and keeping taxation in view across the withdrawal period. Because when the withdrawal plan is thought through upfront, it becomes easier to stay focused on the life the portfolio is meant to support. Do consult your financial advisor before investing.
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिम के अधीन है. योजना संबंधी सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.